on importing beef from the U.S. That's reporter Stephen Pickering. And another South Texas note back to the world of politics. A very popular area musician, Tejano great Bobby Pulido, reportedly considering running for Congress. District 15 of Texas. He would be running as a Democrat, put together an exploratory committee and made the announcement online as well. Time is 7:08. It is Aki with the time. And I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch, a certified dealer for Purina liquid feed. Will help your cattle get through the summer, the scorcher of a summer. Purina liquid feed at Martin Farm and Ranch. You stop by, say hi to Dougie for us. We actually have weather to talk about today. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nording. So let's go to the Gulf. We see some showers crawling this way. So last 24 hours, have they adjusted maybe some of this rain head more in this direction? What would you say, Jeffrey?
A little, yes. I wouldn't say a lot or anything to be too excited about, but if we take a look at what is expected, there's going to be some moisture, no doubt. The center of it is just off of, or I should say, decently off of the east coast of South Texas, and it will be pushing west with time. In terms of rainfall amounts, it's going to be a spritz and dash, but the cloud cover is going to be around. The temperatures are going to be down in the mid to upper 90s.
Good, yeah, with an extra cloud cover. So, looking at how far offshore some of this is, when do you expect the first showers to finally get to the area? Maybe by what, lunchtime, or what's the plan?
A little bit after lunch.
Yeah.
So kind of the mid to late afternoon. And then it more or less will be around in the form of some light mist, even into Saturday too. But Saturday's not going to be wet. It's just some, leftover moisture.
All right. Are we still calling for lots of rain in Southeast Texas, Metro Houston?
Yep, that's where we're going to see a bulk of it. So we're going to have some heavier showers and storms. The rainfall amounts in the next 2 days could amount to an inch. And so for Houston, yeah, definitely want to be, weary traveler there. It is cooler. They got the upper 80s to low 90s, whereas everybody else in Texas is either in the 90s to hundreds in Dallas and San Antonio, pretty much 90s, and a thunderstorm that's going to be around tomorrow.
Okay, so that's it for tropical coverage 2025, right? You got nothing else in the Caribbean, or
You mean like for the rest of the year? No,
no,
no.
We still need some rain. Don't forget the watershed west of us. We still need some rain. So yeah,
we're done though for a little bit. So the next or updated graphic goes through August 8th.
All right, Texas travel. Watch the rain in Houston already. They already have some rain up in Galveston, Houston, Corpus Christi, Victoria. I'm likely to see some here pretty soon. Dallas, San Antonio. What you got the next 24?
Dallas dry today, 101. Tomorrow, 95. Clouds and sun. Some showers and thunderstorms around. And then San Antonio's dry today, 97. Generally cloudy. Tomorrow has those spotty thunderstorms making its way into central Texas, and it'll be 93 degrees.
It's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine, and again, big thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Let's look at the calendar for today. Let's see, what can we eat? We can eat some cheese and wine. It's the National Cheese and Wine Day. That's a good combination, cheese and wine.
Yeah, cheese, crackers, and wine.
There we go. And that will be the meal. And for dessert, hot fudge sundae.
Oh, yes.
Also on the menu for today.
And for me, the hot fudge sundae turns into a hot fudge dirt sundae. Oreo pieces and those gummy worms.
All over the place. Heads up for all employers. Today is National Hire a Veteran Day. That'd be something nice for you to do. Get some veterans.
For sure. They need jobs too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeffy. Check with you next hour.
See ya.
AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on 710 KURV. Stick around. Want to share a conversation with you with Adam Gonzalez. He's the CEO over at CoStep. The recent successes in recruitment efforts and how they're going to push really hard over the next several months. They want to put together a cluster, automotive industry-based cluster, and they're going to be doing some recruitment runs here pretty soon. So I'll share that conversation coming in about 7:15. So stick around for that. Meantime, Microsoft is detailing how some Chinese hacking groups were responsible for exploiting vulnerabilities in their SharePoint servers.
According to the tech giant, groups including Linen Typhoon, Violet Typhoon, and Storm 2603 have been exploiting vulnerabilities by allowing hackers to spoof authentication credentials and execute malicious code remotely. Attacks began as early as July 7th of this year and have already impacted over 400 agencies and businesses, with many of the victims located in the United States. Microsoft released security updates to address these vulnerabilities and strongly urged all users of on-premises SharePoint systems to apply the updates immediately. I'm at Mattinson.
The CEO of Dallas-based Southwest Airlines saying that they are seeing big financial benefits charging for your bag.
The airline implemented the new bag fee system in the middle of May, and already they are seeing the financial benefit to their bottom line. CEO Bob Jordan tells our own David Johnson how the change looks for the rest of this year.
We're seeing the benefit of bag fees, so it looks like the financial contribution this year from bag fees will be about $350 million.
On top of that, they expect about $1 billion coming in for 2026 from the fees. Southwest also just announced a new assigned seating system, which goes into effect in late January, with tickets available next week. He says customers are already seeing the extra legroom on the 200 or so planes that have already been converted.
Time is 7:14 on the Valley's Morning News, and this note from Florida. Wildlife experts are deploying robotic rabbit decoys. Why? They're throwing robotic rabbits into the Everglades, try to help them eradicate the Burmese python problem.
40 robo-bunnies equipped with cameras are being deployed to help eradicate the invasive species. Zoo Miami's Ron McGill is skeptical, even though the stuffed toys emit a smell and heat signature.
A snake constantly flicking out its tongue. It's got an organ in the roof of its mouth, and that tongue is depositing particles into that organ that tells the snake what it is.
Researchers at the University of Florida are hoping these decoys lure pythons so trackers can bag them.
I think they would be very hard-pressed, short of, using the real skin and fur of a rabbit.
The research is funded by the South Florida Water Management District, which also hosts the annual Florida Python Challenge. Karen Curtis, Miami.
Time is 7:15. This is the Valley's Morning News. News Talk 710 KURV. Adam Gonzalez, CoStep leader on recent successes and recruitment and the big push near future, including an auto industry cluster for the area. That's next on the Valley's Morning News. And I welcome back to the program Adam Gonzalez. He's the CEO, the chief over at COSTEP, the Council for South Texas Economic Progress. And man, we got some important initiatives to catch up with. Welcome back, Adam. Let's talk about that
for having me.
auto cluster conversation that y'all have been having of late. So catch me up to speed on that one. Of course, the data as well that you need for that.
Yeah, I mean, the auto cluster or cluster, it's not a new idea by any means. We just feel we need an auto cluster and various clusters here in the region to help promote that way.
Mm-hmm.
COSTEP has been promoting primarily, the infrastructure assets that we have here as a business attraction and investment attraction for the region, for Rio South Texas. And this auto cluster is just that, another promotional tool that we're going to have. And the initiative, we laid it out, it was on August 8th, and we're already working. We had a meeting this week in Matamoros with Canacintra and CODEM, and laid it out because we're really going to need their help in gathering some data from across the region, both on the U.S. side and on the Mexico side, the Northern Tamaulipas side.
And when you say auto cluster, this is a complement to what is taking place in Central Texas in San Antonio, right? With the Toyota truck plant up there, Elon Musk and building his futuristic Cybertruck. We're within that region of potential contribution influence, right? Where we can set up more plastic, steel, metal and vendors, injector type of operations, components, right? For the auto industry, right?
Yeah, the idea of the cluster is really just to collaborate with other clusters as well, and try to create synergies with them and have business flow back and forth. We may have manufacturing operations that are happening here in our region that others don't know about, where they, instead of going to another provider, they may be able to come here closer with us and be more centralized.
Adam Gonzalez, CEO of COSTEP, Council for South Texas Economic Progress, hoping to do their part to sell our region, the Rio South Texas region, which is northern Mexico, southern Texas, try to get more industry at a time when industry seems to be coming, or the prospect of industry coming back to the U.S. or expanding rapidly. We just had the Japanese announce $500 billion of more investment, and put on top of that other trillions of dollars in promises of expansion and construction of more manufacturing, from pharmaceutical to car manufacturing to computer chips. It's an amazing time when we see all this commitment of trillions of dollars for economic expansion in our country. And living in Texas, which is a very business-friendly state, probably the most business-friendly state of all states, I can see where we're perfectly positioned right now to try to, throw the net out there and capture some of this. So in order to develop this binational auto cluster that you're wanting to put together, I was reading up on how you're hoping to gather data, right? Design a map, analyze the landscape of manufacturing here and I guess nearby. So tell me a bit more about that, and how can industry help, or maybe even local governments help and contribute to this?
Yeah, so we're in the works of developing it's almost finished, a digital platform for gathering that data. So we need to know what each operation, what each company is manufacturing, the capacities that they have, and the talent that they have also, in their organizations, in their companies. That's what we're going to be promoting in the near future, is the region as a whole, all the production that happens here, so that others can know that and be able to reach out to some of these companies, of course, and come visit the area, and hopefully, expand some of those manufacturing operations and even bring newer operations to the region. The plan is to collaborate also with other clusters in Mexico, in the U.S., in Canada, in Europe, where the cluster concept is very, very, very well used in order to promote, the products and capacities that the regions have.
Okay, when you say cluster, I think it's like-minded, like similar purpose driven type of industry, like auto, for example, anything that feeds into auto. But around here, we could have other clusters, with Elon Musk down the street. My
Yeah,
goodness.
the idea is to first start with the manufacturing cluster. So we would
Okay.
have, our footprint, of course, is in the auto is the biggest one. Of course, aerospace is a big one, electronics, medical device manufacturing, energy, renewable energy is huge. But you could also get into, the perishables as well, that we have a great footprint in that. And also even services at one point. And warehousing and logistics can have their cluster. So cluster is not limited. It's not limited to one, type of industry or sector. It is something that is used as a promotional tool to create awareness of what is being fabricated or what is being done in a certain region.
Tell me some of the successes you've seen so far. I know it's been a few months since I had you and a colleague here in studio talking about this, but I know you were mentioning off air. We have seen some successes, all this recruitment activity, all these visits, door knocking that you've been doing. So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, some of the successes, of course, is we're very close to landing a company out of the north. I can't that we call it Project Maple, and it's a plastic mold injection or a company that is looking at relocating to our region, which is going to use that binational concept. That's what they're looking at. Where they're having part of their operations on the Mexico side, part of the operation on the U.S. side. We're also courting a company, a big company, a good name brand. We call it Project Lonesome Dove, and they're currently manufacturing in China. They have already visited the area, and they are very interested in continuing that dialogue. And that there's a good possibility that they'll land in our region as well. And they too are looking at the binational dynamic that we have here, where you have part of the operation on the Mexico side and part of the operation on the U.S. side. So fruits to our labor is continuing to grow. And that's really what COSTEP is all about, as a not-for-profit, is promoting the region and helping companies land here in the region that we call Rio South Texas.
COSTEP, the organization that you represent, of course, and representing Rio South Texas in these initiatives, recruitment efforts, you work in tandem all the time, right, with economic development entities, Mission, Brownsville, McAllen, Edinburgh, Harlingen, right? Also Valley Chamber, and other folks that are pushing hard to recruit industry in South Texas. It's like a unified effort all the time, right? You guys.
Yeah, it's a regional effort, and really we consider ourselves our tip of the spear. So we definitely don't want to encroach on any of the local EDCs that are doing their job. We pride ourselves in going out there, looking for opportunity, presenting the region. When we find one or two or three suitable places for that company, then we introduce them to the EDOs, the local EDOs, and hand off that project to them. And then we're off to the races again, looking for other opportunities. Yeah. We can't do what an economic development organization can do, like provide incentives, abatements, and things like that. So our job is just to create that interest in the region and then hand them off so that the city, the community, and the local EDC can close the deal.
There we go. You're on horseback. You're the cowboy out there steering the herd over to the ranch so that the EDC offices can take them to slaughter and chop up the meat for us, right? And get us
there you go.
Get us some good steaks. And from the Council for South Texas Economic Progress, COSTEP, is the CEO, Adam Gonzalez. We've had these conversations before, and how we're ready, we're primed. I don't think there's any excuse for us not to catch maybe a chip manufacturer, maybe a data center. I know, the president was mentioning, is it got a new initiative trying to find the power to feed data centers, chip manufacturing, like West Texas, Lubbock, Texas, Texas Tech. They've got a new Department of Defense initiative to try to develop future, like state-of-the-art new chips for the Defense Department. The opportunities are there. Abilene, they landed themselves a data center. There's a lot more in a business-friendly environment that is Texas. And with South Texas, you guys and others making some noise, we should be able to land some of the high tech that will provide dominance, will allow the dominance of the United States when it comes to AI and high tech. Are you in constant contact with the governor's office to try to land some of the big fish?
Yes, I mean we belong to the Texas Economic Development Corporation. We are members, investors in that, which is the right arm of the office of the governor. And, we're in constant communication with them to promote ourselves, as a region, the capacities that we have, so that the leads that come in through the governor's office are landed here. Coming up on August 5th, we are having an RFI, a request for information training for the region. We encourage all EDCs, EDOs, or interested parties to attend. The invitation will be set out. The save the date has already gone out. But this is exactly them, the state of Texas, the governor's office coming down, providing that training, the best practices on how to submit those requests for information. This is when companies come to the governor's office and ask for help in looking for an area or a site selection for them. So they put these out, and all EDCs are able to answer those. And so we're just trying to provide some training so that we can, get more attention and hopefully land more companies here.
Okay, we'll keep shaking that tree, see what fruit we can get from it. There's great opportunity, the potential for us to land something even bigger, as big as it's been so far with Elon Musk and the LNG plants, of thousands of jobs there at the port. I know we can get some high-tech stuff around here, complement what already has arrived. From COSTEP, the Council for South Texas Economic Progress is Adam Gonzalez. You had mentioned to me off air that you got a conversation coming up in Mexico City, and then you got that another recruitment effort, Querétaro and in Monterrey. Are you laser focusing on a specific type of industry, like going back to auto, for example, or maybe medical equipment, or are you looking at something to complement what's taking place at the port? What's the focus?
Really, what we're trying to attract is manufacturing, anything in the manufacturing realm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as you well know, a lot of the manufacturing went to Mexico for obvious reasons under various treaties and contracts. And now, we see ourselves as more of a service industry here, more of a retail industry. And we feel that manufacturing, whether it's in the aerospace, the auto, the medical device, renewable energy, I think we're well poised for that. I mean, we have the corridors, we have the talent, we have the schools, we have everything necessary for us to be able to attract those manufacturing operations into our region. So our focus is that the Querétaro and the Monterrey trip are almost back to back, a day or so apart. We are going to be meeting with at least anywhere between 35 and 50 empresarios in each business owners in each one of those areas, and present our region to them and invite them to visit so that we can make introductions and collaborations in order to expand our horizon and land more companies. The meeting on Monday, I'm headed to Mexico City, and we're going to be meeting there and presenting to Canacintra in Mexico City. And there's a good possibility we're going to be signing a memorandum of collaboration with them in order to, create a synergy with that area. There's a lot of companies right now in Mexico that are looking at the U.S., for obvious reasons, the political environments.
Yeah.
That are looking at the U.S. and placing a footprint here. They may not move their full operation, but they'll start, looking at our area to potentially in the future manufacture here.
Which I'm wondering if maybe that puts them in a position to come under the umbrella of any potential future rewrite of the trade deal between Canada and the U.S. So there's separate issues with Canada, separate issues with Mexico, but you know how they say a certain percentage of this, certain percentage of that. If it's built on U.S. soil, then you're good. Bring the rest of the stuff in. One of those, I'm wondering if maybe they're positioning themselves for something like that. And one item of all the wonderful assets that we have on the ground, from the university to the medical school to, of course, the Texas A&M and UTRGV, the training centers and Texas workforce, and the young workforce, the trainable workforce, the school districts that are training kids with skills to get jobs right now, and all the high-tech stuff and aerospace. The one issue that I'm thinking that maybe we might be lacking, which I wonder how do you sound the alarm for something like that, or hurry up and get it, is energy. Like we need the juice. We need the energy source in order to host some high tech around here. Is that a topic of conversation that comes up with you and colleagues that are in the business of economic development along with the state?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be part of a project that's going on at UTRGV with regards to new types of batteries to harness and to store energy, the renewable energy, because we have plenty of wind energy here. We have definitely plenty of solar energy as well. But the way to harness that is to create batteries that are able to support at the times that we need the energy for that use. We are also courting a company that's looking at a data center, and their idea is to create their own energy source through solar.
Nice.
In order to provide, use their, energy that's here, but if there's not enough, then be able to produce their own energy to run the data center.
We wish you great success in the future conversations and meetings with industry and try to coordinate more jobs in industry to South Texas. Adam, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
With the Council for South Texas Economic Progress, COSTEP, that is CEO Adam Gonzalez. Be well, brother.
Have a good day.
Fantastic Four movie? Find out in a few minutes. Stick around. The Valley's Morning News on 710 KURV. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Valley's Morning News. It's News Radio for South Texas. I'm Sergio Sanchez along with Zach Cantu and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nording and movie mom Nell Minow, just a few seconds away to see if Fantastic Four was any good. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Every Friday at this time, we try to beautify the show as much as possible. Nell Minow, movie mom, joining us. And since she is a real deal comic book, Comic-Con nerd, she's a true expert in this. I tell you what, if she didn't like this latest iteration of Fantastic Four, it's time to burn all the magazines, all the books, all the movies, all the CDs, and be done with it. This thing would be jinxed. So here we go, Mom. The Fantastic Four. Finally, did they make a good one? Yes or no?
Yes, they made a good one. And you know, I am such a big fan of the Fantastic Four. We actually named our son after Ben Grimm, the Thing.
Okay. You named him the Thing?
No, we named him Ben. His name is Ben.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And Ben, by the way, Ben Grimm is played by Eben Moss Backrack, who, if you watch the TV show The Bear, you know him in his regular persona. He's got a great cast, including Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, and the guy who played the Emperor in Gladiator 2 as Johnny, the guy who turns into flames. I thought it was really good. First of all, it is dazzling to look at. The production design is kind of a fantasy 1960s. So it has some elements of the mid-century design, but also some things that you can tell it's not exactly the same as our universe. But it may just bring back the fedora hat, because all the men, whenever they go outside, all the men are wearing those hats. They look great.
Yeah. So was it produced by AI? Then you say
no. They built it all.
Okay.
And Galactus, it's about how Silver Surfer comes to bring the word that Galactus, the devourer of planets, is about to eat all of planet Earth. And it's about what happens then. This is also the very first time in Marvel history, possibly in any history, that a very pregnant woman is in the middle of a big action scene. As they go to prevent Galactus from eating the planet Earth.
Okay. Now, a real pregnant woman, or just like a pillow, and we'll just put a character in there?
The character is pregnant. Okay, yeah, she's not really.
All right, I'm glad you're here. So, why did you like it so much as compared to, they've tried this and they've
tried it. There are 3 different versions. I guess 4 is the magic number when it comes to the Fantastic Four. They tried 3 different versions. Do you know the story of the first version?
No, I don't.
All right. A low-budget movie studio had the rights. This is long before Marvel Studios had the rights to the Fantastic Four, and their lawyer, informed them the rights were about to run out. So they said, all right, if they didn't make a movie. So, all right. And they made a over a weekend, they made a movie, never intending to show it to anybody, but just to keep the rights. So that's the
film festival.
That's the story of and that one is legendary. You can still find it, here and there illegally. Okay. And then the other 2, just not very good, even though they had good casts. They just didn't have the energy, and they spent too much time on the origin story. I know. They had a cosmic ray. They got their superpowers. This one gets you right in the middle of the action right away.
Yeah. They had, I forget the name of that guy, He was the one of the original bad guys on the bigger version, the Nip and Tuck guy. I think
Yes.
he recently passed away.
Yes, the one who just died. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jessica Alba.
Yes, Jessica
So
Alba.
big names like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so this one worked. Why did it work, Mom? I know I got a few seconds. So why did this one work and not the others?
I think partly the look of it, partly the energy behind it, and it's got some humor. You know, they really sort of hit their stride with it. Okay, on streaming, we got some good choices. If you're interested in the opposite of a Marvel movie, we've got Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix, bringing back those of the original cast who are still with us. Lilo and Stitch, one of the 2 biggest box office movies of the year, that is now on streaming. Materialist, I'm not recommending it, even though that one's got Pedro Pascal too, and I love him, with Dakota Johnson. And next week, we're going to be talking about The Naked Gun. They're bringing back The Naked Gun, this time with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, we went
And
from
Pamela
Leslie
Anderson.
Nielsen to Liam Neeson.
I know, but you would believe it. If you watch the trailer, there's an O.J. Simpson joke in it that is very funny. And also, I know your kids love the movie The Bad Guys. Bad Guys 2 is coming.
Okay.
And that looks really good. So yeah, definitely follow my website this week. I'll be putting up some of the crazy costumes from Comic-Con, and I'll tell you all about it next week.
All right, and she's looking forward. George Lucas, first ever
Yeah.
appearance at a
Yeah.
Comic-Con. Okay, have fun, Mom. Looking forward. Don't forget to bring us little knickknacks and pens and stuff.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Mom. Love you. That's Movie Mom Nell Minow every Friday on 710 KURV.